Dear students, in this module, we'll be continuing with our ongoing chapter, Chapter 2, Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. Firstly, we'll be talking about the pollen-pistil interaction. Basically, it is a process in which pistil recognizes the compatible or the incompatible pollen through the chemical components. Basically, some sugary substances are released by the stigma which reach the ovary, which help in giving signaling, chemotactic signaling to the pollen grains so that they could produce the pollen tube which can eliminate, which can come out through the exine, through the germ pore, the intine tube will get elongated and will lead to the formation of pollen tube on receiving the chemotactic signal. If the pollen grain is compatible and the right type, the pistil will accept it and promote the pollination events. Now, when a specific pollen grain gets germinated, it lands on the stigma, and if it is the compatible one, it will produce the pollen tube. The pollen tube will seek an entry through the micropylar end guided by the synergids and the filiform apparatus. In the diagrammatic representation, we can see that each pollen grain, it contains two male gametes. Now the filiform apparatus will secrete chemicals and along with the synergid and will give directionality to the pollen tube. This is the vegetative nucleus of the pollen grain which provides nourishment. We can see that the pollen tube in this pictorial representation has entered through the micropylar end. The two male gametes which are released, out of that one will fuse with the polar nuclei and the other will fuse with the egg so as to produce the zygote. The pollen grains which are shed, they could be shed at the two-celled condition. It is observed in 60% of the angiosperms where there is presence of a vegetative and generative cell. The generative cell could divide to produce two male gametes during the pollen tube growth. The plants in which the remaining 40%, the pollen grains, they are shed in the three-cell stage where the generative cell divides to produce two male gametes. Now each male gamete, like we can see that here, the pollen grains which are shown in blue, they've landed onto the stigma, and then these two male gametes, they are carried along with the formation of this red color pollen tube, the one depicted with red color. And then we see that these blue color male gamete, they are fusing with the central polar cell first and also with the egg cell. So the male gamete will carry the fusion with the egg and the polar nuclei. The antipodals will provide, the function of antipodal cells which are present on the chalazial end is to provide nourishment to the growing embryo till the time the endosperm is produced. A plant breeder can manipulate the pollen-pistil interaction even if in case of incompatible pollination so as to obtain the hybrids. Now when we talk about artificial hybridization, it involves the technique of emasculation, that is a removal of the anther from the bisexual flower. So in this process, a forceps can be used so as to remove the male part, the anther. And then the process of bagging is carried out. That means the butter paper or the zip polythene could be used to cover the female so that the cross pollination could be avoided with any other male, and the desired pollination or fertilization could be brought about with the male of our interest. In the last step, the desired pollen grains are being dusted onto the female plant so as to produce the individual with desired qualities. Artificial hybridization employs the technique of emasculation, bagging, and tagging, and then dusting the pollen grains with the male plant of our interest. In case of unisexual flowers, there is no need of emasculation as the male flower buds, the male flowers are different from the female flowers. And female flower buds, they are bagged before the flowers open. When the stigma will become receptive, the pollination will be carried out using desired pollen. The concept of double fertilization. Double fertilization is a characteristic feature of angiosperms wherein the sperm nuclei, which is depicted in blue, is fusing with the purple colored depicted polar nuclei, and this blue colored sperm nuclei or the male gamete fuses with the egg. Now this fusion of the male gamete with the egg results in the formation of zygote, which is 2N, that is diploid in nature, which is a single cell having two nuclei. Whereas the polar nuclei and the sperm nuclei fuse to form triploid endosperm, which is referred to as primary endosperm nucleus, that is PEN. Now this fusion of the zygote with the male gamete, so the production of zygote by the fusion of male gamete and the egg is referred to as syngamy, and the PEN is formed by the fusion of central cell with the sperm nuclei, that is leads to the formation of endosperm. So we can see that the fusion between the egg and the male gamete is syngamy, and the fusion between the polar nuclei and the male gamete, that is referred to as triple fusion. This is because the ploidy of PEN, that is 3N. As we can see that the ploidy of PEN is 3N because zygote is having two nuclei, because the central cell is having two nuclei. So thus syngamy and triple fusion form twice the fertilization is taking place, and therefore they form a part of double fertilization. Here there are two types of fusion, one is syngamy and the other one is triple fusion. It is an event which is unique to flowering plants, and this triple fusion results in the formation of primary endosperm cell, which will develop into endosperm, and the zygote will develop into embryo. The function of endosperm is to provide nourishment to the growing embryo. In this module, we had basically carried out discussion on double fertilization, which is a characteristic feature of angiosperm. Hopefully, you must have garnered the concepts thoroughly. Thank you.